Two law cases that I covered fairly extensively on the channel towards the end of the year. Okay, you got Kim Potter here. We're gonna catch up with what the judge in that case has been doing, and boy, is she just a pile of fucking failure. And then going back to Kyle Rittenhouse, okay, the guy that he got the gun from, okay, Kyle bought it from Dominic Black, and then he was up on some charges that got dismissed in Kyle Rittenhouse's case, so there's been a conclusion to those charges, and he's not going to be going to trial, and he's actually got a pretty sweet deal out of it anyways, even though that the charges themselves should be thrown out, but we'll get to that when we get there. But we got to focus on this stupid Regina Chu, who bungled up, okay, the closing arguments, and really should have kind of led to a mistrial or something out there based on, you know, the interview of one of the jurors that came out afterwards, allowing that second rebuttal, well, not really rebuttal, that second closing to go through. She fucked that up, and now Kim Potter's going to spend the rest of her life in jail, more than likely, but we don't know for certain because sentencing is supposed to happen late February, early March, not entirely sure, maybe it's in this article here, but Kim Potter judge releases dangerous criminal, 18, with a history of assault and carrying a gun for funeral, then he goes missing. Interesting. Okay, somebody who was sentenced to a crime, and a dangerous crime, a violent crime, okay, and remember, she wouldn't let Kim Potter, okay, stay with her family over the holidays because she didn't want to treat that case like any other one. But meanwhile, awaiting sentencing. Sorry, I should finish that statement before I move on to the next one. But again, find somebody guilty, and you can tell by the name, it might be a little bit different than Kim Potter. Shevirio Kavirion Childs-Young, 18 years old. They're allowed to go free in the interim, because I guess maybe that one's a little bit different. Minneapolis judge presided over killer cop Kim Potter's trial, thanks Daily Mail, showed mercy to an 18-year-old with a lengthy juvenile delinquency history involving assault and weapons offenses by freeing him to attend a funeral, only for the teen to go on the lam. Can't say I'm shocked. If you watched the trial, every minute of it like I did, all the prosecution would have had to do is just merely suggest it to it, and she would have went, okay, I'll allow it. The police are now on the hunt for Shevirio, I'm not going to ever pronounce that right, Kavirion Childs-Young, after Judge Regina Chu administered a warrant for the fugitive arrest for failing to return to Hennepin County Jail after temporary release. Court filings from the state of Minnesota show Chu's decision to free Childs-Young came after the judge refused Potter's plea to spend one last Christmas with her family before being sentenced following her conviction last month for killing Daunte Wright. I wouldn't care about this entire story, okay, because the decision to send Kim Potter away for the rest of her life didn't fall squarely on the back of Regina Chu, the Jesse Ventura appointed judge. Yes, that's a real thing. But she made the decision to awaiting sentencing, throw Kim Potter away, who doesn't have a lengthy history, okay? Wasn't going to be a flight risk. But no, it's a little bit different for somebody with 4 names. Childs-Young, who was 17 when he was arrested for possession of a Glock pistol and assaulting an officer in November, was temporarily released by Chu, 68. I thought she was younger than that. Not by much, but some of that Asian magic. At 9:30 a.m. on January 3rd to attend an unspecified family member's funeral. Filings further reveal. So she has compassion. Selectively applied compassion. I'd use this against her so much whenever an appeal gets filed by the Potter team. The plan for him to report back to Hennepin County Jail by that at 12:30 p.m. that day, however, has... he never returned. Wow, warrant issued for the amount of $40,000. But according to the expert from the prosecution, okay, they have his name. They can just get him at a later time. You don't have to go ahead and seize on any of those warrants that are out there. You just eventually get them. Don't worry about it. Due to the defendant failing to return to Hennepin County Jail after temporary release, Chu wrote in the order after he failed to show. Now, more than a week later, Childs-Young's whereabouts remain unknown. Likely to stay that way. Eventually, she'll be petitioned by somebody's lawyer, and it's like, okay, I'll just grant him a pardon, I'll allow it. Childs-Young was charged on December 2nd with assaulting a Minneapolis police officer. Is that even a crime now at this point? And illegal possession of a firearm during a traffic stop on November 30th. Okay, yeah, especially a traffic stop. And they should have known better than pulling somebody over with a gun in the vehicle. Okay. They should have just let him go because they could have easily mistaken that for a taser. According to the arrest warrant, then a 17-year-old was traveling with 2 other passengers, both female. in his sedan. 4 doors, more horse. One of whom was a juvenile and 2 small children in his vehicle when he was pulled over. Can't say I'm shocked. Warren states the cop soon became suspicious to the teen who gave the deputy a fake name after asserting he had forgotten his driver's license after they smelled marijuana emitting from the vehicle. A very similar situation. Upon searching the automobile, however, cops made much more of an unnerving discovery: a loaded handgun hidden in the passenger seat. All parties were removed from the vehicle, and the deputy then observed a firearm, a loaded Glock 40 caliber with a extended magazine. Wow, like that. The extended magazine might actually be illegal in Minnesota, but that wasn't charged either, so don't know. On the floorboard behind the front passenger seat, the criminal complaint read. Police says one of the female passengers initially claimed that the gun belonged to her. Oh, at least he's got some loyal broads in his car. Prompting the officer to prepare to transport her to jail for a weapons offense. It's like, oh no, wait a minute, it's actually his, fuck off. At that point, the warrant revealed Childs-Young told the officer that the gun belonged to him, leading the officer to try to cuff him, but the teen did not go quietly. Wow, where have we heard that narrative before? Fucking weird. After boasting a lengthy juvenile delinquency history involving assault and weapons offense, as a complaint puts it, Childs-Young was prohibited by the Minnesota court system from possessing a firearm. Spurning the 17-year-old to fight back. I think that's now enshrined reason, a legally just reason to resist arrest in Minnesota. The complaint chronicled the ensuing struggle. We don't need everything about that's already been decided. I just want to know what stupid Chu had to say about this. Chu gained prominence for overseeing the highly publicized manslaughter trial. Not really highly publicized. Not too many people cared about it, but I did. Who was convicted in December for first and second degree manslaughter, stupidly so. The fatal April 11th shooting of Daunte Wright. Chu has since ordered the disgraced officer be taken into custody and held without bail while she awaits sentencing. Because of her lengthy history of what is the way that it was put it of involving assault and weapons offenses, right? No, she just had a sterling 26-year record as being a police officer, whatever. But yeah, of course I remember Potter's attorneys, Earl Grey, the great Earl Grey, and Paul Lang, attested that their client shouldn't be incarcerated pending sentencing, arguing that she is not a danger to the public whatsoever. Yeah, because she's had her taser removed, so. Chu disagreed, forcing Potter to spend the holidays in jail. I'm going to require that she be taken into custody and held without bail. But if she'd like to go out for a funeral of one of her family members, she could feel free to do that. Should have just said that Jesus was one of her family members. She could have got the holidays out. Chu ruled at the time, I cannot treat this case differently than any other case. Hypocrisy, thy name is Chu. Like I said, we got another story, but I didn't want to end on a downer note. Jesus, I want to end on an up note here, okay? Man who bought rifle for Kyle Rittenhouse avoids jail time. Well, he is an adult, okay? Dominic Black, I think he's like 18 or 19 now at this point, but he was being charged, okay? We went over this before in a video, but just for posterity's sake, we'll run it back again. He was being charged by Thomas Binger, that same prosecuting team, and I think Krause was on the case as well, the old fucking fathead. They were charging Black with 2 felonies, okay? The minor in possession, the one that got thrown out by Judge Schrader in the Kyle Rittenhouse case because the statute didn't apply to him, so why would it apply to Dominic Black? He could have dismissed it on that same line of logic, but Binger said that he would appeal the process if Judge Schrader, who is residing over this case as well, I know everything seems to be lining up on this one, if Schrader decided to throw out that charge because it didn't apply to Black and it didn't apply to Rittenhouse, so why the fuck is he being charged with it, okay? Binger would appeal that process and therefore drag Dominic Black through a lot more court costs and a lot longer of a trial just because he's a petty fucking bitch who wears a scarf and indoors. What a fruit. But all's well that ends well. When they finally reconvened after the holidays, the man who admitted to buying the rifle for Kyle Rittenhouse used in Kenosha, Wisconsin on August 25th, 2020, pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor on Monday. So he was charged with 2 felonies, and then he ended up getting a plea deal for a misdemeanor and a $2,000 fine. Fucking A. Good. He has I think it's Give, Send, Go. It's the equivalent, it's a different equivalent to, and it's along the same lines as GoFundMe, okay? He has a huge backlog of money for that, so it's just a little bit of a chip off that, but going through that appeals process for months and months and months on end, having to retain an attorney, he was looking at a bill that would have been 6 digits at least. Okay, and he doesn't have Kyle Rittenhouse's money, and Kyle Rittenhouse right now doesn't even have Kyle Rittenhouse's money. So avoiding this is big, and it's good news. It really is. Dominic Black was charged with 2 felonies related to the purchasing of the gun. Each charge could have landed him with up to 6 years in jail, even though he never would have been in jail. But still, getting a felony charge is a little bit different than just getting hit with a misdemeanor. But he saw those charges dismissed with prejudice in a plea deal. Black pleaded no contest to contributing to the delinquency of a minor, which is retarded again. Kenosha County Circuit Judge Bruce Schrader accepted the no contest as a guilty plea because he's like, good. Black agreed to pay a $2,000 fine in a plea deal and received no jail time or probation. Round of applause. This is excellent. Excellent news. His attorney should be applauded for this. Black, who has referred to Rittenhouse as a brother and was dating his teenage sister when the shootings unfolded amid rioting in Wisconsin, told in the trial last year that he bought the rifle for his friend. Assistant Attorney General Flufferboy 2004, who failed in his bid to prosecute Rittenhouse, told the brief hearing that Black was cooperative during the Rittenhouse investigation. It called him as, I think, the first witness for the prosecution. So yeah, he was just looking for a dub after he was licking his wounds extensively in one certain area over the holidays. So yeah, he just is going to take this plea deal as a W because that's how it'll go down in his record book. And noted that he testified during the trial. Yeah, we know. Which ended with Rittenhouse being acquitted of all charges. Once again, round of applause because that cannot be understated. The resolution that we have reached in this case involves the issuance of a county ordinance citation for contributing to the delinquency of a child. It's weird because the child in reference here is Kyle Rittenhouse, who right now is 18 but was 17 at the time that he displayed his expert marksmanship. Under Kenosha County Ordinance 9-948.40, Binger said. Mr. Rittenhouse was legally considered a child at the time of the purchase of his firearm, and therefore Mr. Black would be liable, Mr. Black, for violating the county ordinance. We have agreed to a fine of $2,000 here. Ooh, $2,000 to get you a win. Before Rittenhouse was acquitted, Schrader dismissed a misdemeanor weapons charge against him. The exact same one, okay, and the exact same logic that would have followed in getting those felony charges against Black dismissed, because those felony charges were all predicated on the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse illegally acquired that gun. So as you can see, that's why it was also fucking stupid. Tony Cotton, Black's lawyer, good man, told reporters after the hearing that part of the reason for prosecutors agreeing to the deal was because Rittenhouse was acquitted. Yeah, no shit. At the moment the jury acquitted Rittenhouse made it pretty clear that a much lesser situated defendant would have a dismissal or a similar outcome. Yep. Black was pleased with the jury's decision, and he's glad to have this nightmare behind him. Abso-fucking-lutely. It was really a long road, and he's been down here. We've always felt all along that the 2 charges were a bit of an overkill situation for him. Yeah, being charged twice, because apparently under the logic of the 2 charges, Black provided the Rittenhouse the gun for the killing of Huber and for the killing of Rosenbaum, acting like separately of one another. That's apparently the logic that was out there. He was just like, Binger was just an over-prosecuting bitch, but you already know that. That's why he filed the motion to dismiss right out of the gate here. It took a long time to get to this point, but I have to give credit to the district attorney's office. They really did the right thing. Yep, and reached the right decision ultimately. So, no probation, no conditions, $2,000 fine. Let's just fucking move on from this. So, that about sews everything up, because the only thing that's left in conjunction with Rittenhouse is the arson trial of Joshua Ziminski, because everybody else, okay, who was sympathetic to the prosecution, they've had all of their charges dropped, like Gage Grosskreutz, huge DUI, just magically a couple of weeks before the trial started, it just magically got dropped, and anything associated with him has just been wiped out of history books. So the only thing that's out there is Joshua Ziminski's arson trial, which we'll see if that ended up getting pleaded out, if I even remember, but that ends up kind of just sewing up the Rittenhouse thing. Thank God. So yeah, it might seem like something, okay, you're gonna have your spurgs in your comment section like, Kyle was acquitted, and it's like, listen, the prosecutor's office was going to try to get something out of this. Either, okay, continue to fight the good fight that's out there, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and another fucking year of your life in this horrific situation, or you pay $2,000 and you just fucking move on with your life. I will take the $2,000 every goddamn day of the week. So yeah, that's the system. You might like a little bit more of an ideal situation, but that's not where we're at. Where we're at right now is what we have right here. This is the best possible outcome, and I couldn't be happier for everybody involved, except for Binger. Fuck Binger. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.